In this guide I'm going to show you how I find Wonderkids in my save games. So let's start off with showing you a few players and then I'll explain how I found them. So for example, Barry, this guy from Burkina Faso. Of course he's a very good guy, world class player, and he came from the Burkina Faso League as well. So that's a very nice button for only 130,000, and now he is one of the best defenders in the world. Just look at these stats. Very tall, very strong, very quick. All of these stats are just incredibly good. Sadio is another example. He's a little bit worse than Barry, of course, but he has a lot of potential, as you can see. He's now not a world-class player, I think, but he definitely has potential to become a world-class player into the future. The same goes for my goalkeeper. Extremely good player. And for example, this guy, maybe more basic, coming from Colombia, but still a Wonderkid as well. Now, what do all of these guys have in common? As you can see, I all bought them from smaller teams for a fairly low fee, as you can see. And this guy probably 1 or 2 million. Yeah, exactly. So that comes to the point on how I find most of my Wonderkids. This guy as well, one of the best strikers in the world. Of course, this is a little bit of a bigger club and I paid a lot of money for him. But if I had my eyes open a little bit more, then maybe I would have found him earlier. And that's the same story for a lot of these players. So the best thing to do is fairly easy actually. Just go into the World tab. For example, go to Africa. I really like scouting players in Africa because they have a lot of talent and they sell them for really cheap. And of course, very easy, just go into one of the national squads and take a look there. If they are young, for example this guy, and playing in games already in a national squad, then you know that at least they must be decent. Now, you can also look into the under 23 squad. But yeah, for example, let's go to Ghana. So this guy is 19 years old. No, not a good example. Let's go here. Let's go to Senegal, for example. Maybe there is a good example in there. Yeah, exactly. So you have in the under 23, you have two players from 18 years old. I always sort them on age. You have this guy who's playing in France, so he's already sold. So I wouldn't recommend buying him because then you pay a lot of money. And this guy, he is still playing there. So as you can see, he's 18 years old. He is wanted by a club in Portugal. So that's a really good sign. If they are wanted and they are playing games in their leagues, they are young, they have in the youth squads of the national team, they have caps already, then it's really a no-brainer to buy them because they are really cheap and they must have potential. And a good sign, like I said, always is if other clubs, European clubs, doesn't have to be big European clubs, because some of these Portuguese clubs have really good youth recruitment and they sell them on later on to the bigger European clubs that don't want to develop these players. So I would recommend buying those players and just looking at them, maybe scouting them. But this really is the best way to find these kinds of players. So that's how I find this guy as well. This, of course, is from my squad. He came from Brazil, which is really funny. But he was, of course, already playing in a Nigeria squad. The first in the youth. As you can see, he has 1 under 20 cap. That's how I found him. Then I scouted him because I was interested because he was playing in the Brazilian league. And yeah, then he turned out to be one of the best strikers in the world. Of course, at that time I didn't know that. But just look at how he developed. And yeah, it's really easy. This is the way that I found him. I just went into under 23, 1 under 20, and then just scout all of the young players. And preferably scout the players that are playing, so that have these positions in the national squad, and that are young. For example, this guy is 18 years old. Already played a lot of games. So just scout him, and if he looks good, then buy him. You don't have to scout every player, but for example, this guy, I would take a look at him. He comes from a reputable club in Nigeria, so maybe this one would be worth scouting. And so you can do that with every country. Yes, it takes a little bit of time. For example, this guy is 19 years old. He's playing in Spain, not that expensive. I would think he's worth a scout and maybe a buy as well. Then in the under 20 squad, they don't have much to write home about. Let's take a look at, for example, another nation that is known for producing good players, for example, Thailand. Just go here, you see a lot of 17 years old players already playing in the first team. This guy, he's very small, but still I would scout him. Same goes for these guys. Just look at him. He has this much potential. He's playing in Thailand. His stats don't look amazing, but just look at his potential. And like I said, look at my squad. This is what 5 stars look like. Just look at this player. This is what his potential look like, 4.5 stars. So if you can get a player like this, just sign him. And it's very easy. Just look at the national squads. For the smaller country, please only look at the first squad, the senior squad. Because if we go to North America, for example, North America, for example, Costa Rica, a lot of young players will be playing in this one. And if you go here, then they will not be the best players. So this guy has decent potential as well. This guy is wanted, so he must be not that bad. Just look at his stats, only his pace is lacking, but he can develop quite much. And of course, if you go into the bigger squads like Colombia, then you can, of course, look at the youth squads. So under 20, then this guy is wanted as well. Just look there, and these mostly look good. For example, this guy, 5-star potential goalkeeper, 17 years old, already played that many games. Doesn't have any youth cap yet, but just look at these stats. So yeah, and as you can see from my squad, this really worked for me. Now this guy came from Italy, it seems like, so it isn't a good find for me. But still, some of these guys I've missed out on, but I found them early as well. It just has to do with, of course, your reputation and how you can find them. For example, this guy, I have seen him before, but he didn't want to come to me. But look at his squads, and he was a Portugal youth capped international, very young. And he spawned in, what is that, third league? The 4th league in Portugal. So he was very easy and very cheap to buy. But at that time, I didn't have the reputation to buy him yet. I was still playing in the lower leagues of the Netherlands. So I went to Italy, and then I had to buy him, unfortunately, for 70 million. But still, if you have your eyes opened, if you are lucky with how your reputation of your squad is, then you can buy these kinds of players and just develop your world-class players. So you don't have to scout every player, just scout these national squads. And what happens sometimes as well, of course, this guy is from Portugal, but exactly, you probably have a second nationality. Now, Cape Verdean isn't a popular nationality that a lot of people choose. For example, this is their best player. But there are a lot of these examples. For example, this guy could be really good. Yeah, he's then from Benfica. But still, a lot of these players that are playing in Spain, Portugal, France, they might have a second nationality and they might represent that second nationality. And sometimes this one doesn't. Sometimes they only have that second nationality. So yeah, it's worth to just scout a lot of nations. A few tips: Angola sometimes produces really good players. For example, this guy, he's from Angola, and just look at his stats. Yeah, I mean, looks really good. Zambia sometimes has good players. This guy isn't that good, but he's a decent goalkeeper. For me, Tanzania sometimes had some good players. Uganda, Kenya, and otherwise down here, Libya sometimes. Let's take a look at this guy. He isn't good, but sometimes. So worthwhile just taking a look. And if there are players very young, like this guy, just scout them. He has his height. He has the determination. these stats, the three, as you can see, that are very important, are decent, especially at 17 years old. So for sure you can develop him into becoming a Premier League player. He's 17, already played 1 cap for Libya. So yeah, just sign these kind of players. And yeah, that's basically how I look for them. And if you really want to take it to the next level, like I said before, Portugal really has good lower leagues. So you can just go into this one. You probably do not have them loaded, 3rd division for example, the championship. But if you want to see other teams, just go on stadiums and then you have all the teams in here. And what I like to do is just take a look if they have a prospect like this guy. This guy's then a little bit older and haven't played any games, so I wouldn't scout him personally. But you can go through every one of these and just scout them if they look good to you, and sometimes they do. Of course, take a look at the youth facilities as well. If they are higher, then you have more potential. For example, this guy, that they will be good players. Then this guy is a little bit older as well. But it is worth scouting these kinds of players, especially if you are playing at the level of, for example, the English Championship. Then these guys really can bring you to the next level. So I think that was everything that I wanted to say about this video. Yeah, if there's anything you want to see, please leave it in the comments. And otherwise, thank you very much for watching.